Can you say local jobs for local labor?
Local jobs for local labor.
When Jerome called me up and asked me to run with him as his deputy county executive, more than anything, I was excited. Excited because he didn't just ask me, he asked us. And he was offering us a seat at the table. And I've always said, if you don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu. So for all of us, I said yes. And to all of us I say, I have a new job. A complete renovation of the Hazlitt building. I have the specs, I have the blueprints, and the blueprints say one thing: elect Jerome Emanuel. And guess what? There's a PLA on this job and 100% local labor. Each and every one of us will have a part on this job, and this job will be done on time and on budget. And you know when this job starts? 6 a.m. on November 6th. And this job will be completed at 9 p.m. on November 6th when we elect Jerome Emanuel, our next county executive. Like Jerome said, let's get to work. I love you, labor. I love you, working families. I love you, Chemung County. Our next county executive, Jerome Emanuel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Don Kraft. I want to thank everybody who has taken the time to come here in the cold and a little bit of brisk winds, a little bit of rain. Just to let you know that I deeply appreciate it. I got some people out there that I need to thank. I need to thank my family first and foremost. My wife Jess, right here. Thank you, Jess. My mom, where's my mom? There you are. Mom's back there. My dad, Ralph. Ralph, where are you? Just wave the cane in the air so I can see it, brother. There we go. To my kids, Aviana, Olivia, my son Allison couldn't be here, and my daughter Alina singing the national anthem. Thank you so much. To all of our volunteers, you know, everybody that went around and carried petitions for us, and carrying literature for us, and knocking on doors for us, and making phone calls for us, and all of that, you have no idea how much your support means to me and means to us and means to this campaign. So thank you for all the volunteers, and if you can, just please give a round of applause for everybody that's volunteered on this campaign. I want to give a shout out to labor. We can do it a little better than that. I want to give a shout out to labor. Thank you for your overwhelming support for our campaign. You know, it means the world to know that you have our back and you're there. To my team, it's going to take a little bit, so I hope you can stick with me. We'll get you out of here soon. I want to thank Mike and Diane Seifert for being there with me from day one. Appreciate you guys. The General, Steve Patton, where is he? Where's the General? Thank you, sir. The Wizard, Brian Petroni, the man of many talents.
Oh, hi.
Joanna Kraft, Todd Burgess, Tyler Pry-Bulick.
It's about you now, right?
My boy, Curtis Cabillon-Poole, at FMG Studios for helping me make that great video and being a support system. Deb Lynch, Mama Bear, Ruth Young. Where you at, Mama Bear? I see you. There you are. And the Horseheads Democrats for everything that you guys have done for this campaign. We appreciate it. Pete Keenan and family. Dora, appreciate you. Jim and Mary Carr. And my running mate, Don Kraft. So I'd like to let everybody here know that we're on the Democratic line, we're on the working families line, the women equality line. I need to send a special shout to the Southern Tier Building Trades for really stepping up. Thank you so much again, Don. The endorsement from Tom DiNapoli, and aside from that, we have at least 22 individual union endorsements as a result of what we've done, which is a really big deal. I actually think it's a record for this area. I haven't seen this much excitement in a local election in a very long time. So to all the unions out there, I support you, especially from being a former CSCA member myself. My union brothers and sisters, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for coming out. And for that sign right there. We're standing right here in the footsteps of history. We're actually living in history. So to tell you what's on the line, and this race is way bigger than me. What me and my family have sacrificed. You know, I walked away from a very well-paying career to do this. Money, time away from my family, which I thank my family for being so understanding. But it's nothing it's nothing for what some of our supporters and for what Don Kraft and his team have on the line. I mean, we're fighting for the executive suite in Chemung County. We're fighting for the top level in Chemung County. There's a lot on the line. It's not just about me. It is definitely about us, like my friend Deborah Lynch would say. You know, when I called Don and he mentioned that phone call, I said, Don thought I was asking him for money. I was asking him for money. Don thought I was asking him for money, and I said, no, Don, I want to ask you something else. And Don said, well, you know what happened? I'm so upset. I said, Don, just relax. I want to ask if you want to be the next deputy county executive. He said, you're breaking up. I said, no, I'm serious. I want to ask you if you want to be the next deputy county executive. He's like, are you serious? It's like, yeah, you're serious. I'm serious, very serious. He said, all right, well, I really need to think about this. I need to make a couple phone calls and I'll call you back. I said, okay. I went over and talked to my wife. I said, Jess, he said he's gonna call us back. She said, what, you expect the next couple days? Yeah, I expect the next couple days. Don called me back in 15 minutes and said, let's go. In true union fashion, he wasn't ready to settle for that 70%. He wanted to fight for the whole thing. And I want to fight to make sure that we get it. So Don, I want to thank you for not settling for the crumbs that are left on the table, believing in local labor with local jobs, living wages and life progression, standing up against workforce injustice, changing the status quo, and fighting to finally have a seat at the table in Chemung County. To Don, labor, and unions everywhere, I salute you. So I need to tell you a little bit about myself and my story. I'm born and raised right here in Elmira. I'm a fourth generation Elmiran. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, my grandfather. Started out over there in Riverview, right over the bridge, and then we moved to Branch Street. My grandfather unfortunately passed away when I was 9 years old. My mom met an incredible man, a man that would change my life forever. My dad, Ralph Newman. I'm a Southside High School graduate. I went on to Ferrum College to study business and math. I went to class most of the time. Then I went to Chemung County Department of Social Services. I worked in Medicaid, and I worked in Child Protective Services, which is a tough job. While there, I was a loan executive for the United Way, which really kick-started my love for community service. From there, I went into the automobile industry, and you know, I have to say to my daughter, when I went to that interview, as many of you know, especially in this area, the automobile industry didn't have a lot of African Americans in it. It's a very interesting industry. I remember going on my job interview, and the gentleman asked why I wanted a job. I said, I need the job. I have a baby coming, and I need to make sure that she's taken care of. He said, well, we hired a black guy here first, before, and he stole from us. How do I know you're not going to do the same thing? You know what? I didn't care. I had that little girl right there that I needed to take care of, and that was the only thing that mattered to me. That was it. So I was driven just for that alone, because at that point, when I knew Emanuel was coming, nothing else mattered to me, not even myself. My child was the number one most important thing to me. So thank you for changing my life, Alina. So out of 2 years of selling cars, I felt like I needed to prove something to some people. So out of that 2 years, 19 out of 24 months, I was the top salesperson in that store. And then the next level, the finance manager job came up, and I said, you know what, I want that job. So I went to the general manager's office and I said, hey, I want to apply for that finance manager position. And he looked at me and he laughed and he said, you're not ready yet. Maybe in another 5 years. So after I quit that job, I went on to become the first and youngest African-American sales manager and general manager of a franchise dealership in Chemung County's history. But that's drive, that's determination. I wasn't going to settle. I wasn't going to tell them what I can do. I'm going to go out and do what I can do. I'm going to do the best that I can do because I'm driven and I'm motivated. And how I feel about Chemung County, I'm driven and I'm motivated. We're going to turn this place around. I have a proven track record of going from worst to first. Then I train others to do the same. So there's 3 words that I learned from a very wise man. And there's, where's Cindy? Is Cindy here? Cindy's here somewhere. I learned from a very wise man, 3 words. Learn, practice, and teach. So I had to really learn what I was doing. Practice my craft, honing my skills. I was the guy that put the how-to DVD in the car on my way to work and on my way home because I was that passionate about being successful. And then after I mastered my craft, it's time to teach. And I have taught, and I can say that I have several people who have worked for me over the years that are now running their own dealerships and raising their own family just like I did. And I'm proud of that. But why I'm here is because of my love for this community. And sorry, I get a little bit emotional about this stuff, but I decided that it was time to start diving in. And I'm working 50, sometimes 60 hours a week. And it wasn't gratifying. I didn't feel good at the end of the day. I just feel like I just worked a lot, to take care of my family, which was enough. But I wanted to do more. So we created this group called the Elmira Entrepreneurs, which some people here have been to that class. And part of the Elmira Entrepreneurs objective is to find people that are at or below the poverty line and give them tools and resources to help them formulate a business plan, to help them learn the skills of finance, to help them learn the skills of how to hire, who to hire, how to maintain your business. And I can say that we have helped at least 5 or more businesses get off the ground, and we've helped at least 5 or more minorities and women get registered with MWBEs here in Chemung County, and I'm very proud of that. I'm not gonna wait till I get elected. We're gonna do the work now. Is that all right?
Yeah.
So as many of you know, the city of Elmira was awarded $1 million